Hey guys, I actually didn't plan to do this video, but I have to because of the developments with Chat GPT-4, and also I'm going to talk about what Chat GPT-5 might look like and all the insane complications and downstream effects it might have on our society and how the world works. And we will also have to talk about how important it is, the 6-month pause that is requested by thousands of experts and academics that have signed a letter to put all AGI development on pause. People like Elon Musk have signed this. And also we're going to talk about the reason why it's important to put it on pause. One of them being that there's simply no legal framework to manage the development of AI, like what should it be allowed to be able to do. Also, like with the downstream effects on robotics, like you have to imagine developing software, like strong, smart, intelligent software is one thing. But later, this smart software is going to get into robots. And then you have to imagine when there's suddenly millions of robots that are smarter than humans, well, basically it might be too late to do any adjustments on removing rights from these robots if they're already up and running. We have created something like the Pandora's box that is impossible to reverse potentially. If the development framework, and just like we have basic human rights, we also have to create basic robotic and AI rights or limitations thereof. So we're gonna get into all that, okay? And we're also going to talking about human rights. We have to go through the really entertaining and really important interview with BBC and Elon Musk, where Elon, he basically completely destroys the BBC reporter because Elon, he's defending basic human rights, such as freedom of speech. That's one of his motivations for buying Twitter, to limit censorship, which has been devastating for humankind throughout history, but also in the last 3 years, basically, where several academics from both Harvard, Stanford, and Oxford have been silenced, even though they're some of our best educated people in the field. They were silenced in 2020 when we needed them the most. Okay, and then like we have all this mess that has followed, but that's another story. Okay, so basically we're in a race for creating a framework of managing the safety of AGI. Just like we've had the space race, we also have the race for fusion energy, also important. But the most important is artificial intelligence and managing that, because as I talked about, we're basically creating a new species that is going to be significantly more powerful than humans without even having a framework in place that ensures that it's actually a well-meaning new species, like a good-hearted new species that wants to collaborate and support us humans, basically. Now let's talk about what Chat GPT-5 might look like and why human rights and why that's so important to have a framework in place, and how we need to basically create a framework for robotic and AI rights and limitations of the rights and human rights, and re-establishing human rights in correlation to the new species of robotics and AI, so to speak. Okay, so Chat GPT-5 most likely is going to be a system that can create both text and video. That's my guess, okay? Because Chat GPT-4 has been able to create a long text, however long you want, about any topic. So Chat GPT-4 can create complex text on a very, very high level of any topic based on its ability to research huge amounts of data and then picking out the most important key data and present in a way that you ask it to present it and in the length you want it to create it. Okay, so with that in place, it's easy to translate all this text into voice by artificial voice generators. I actually just saw a crazy video of an artificially generated Joe Rogan podcast that ChatGPT created the text for, and then another AI program created the voice that sounded exactly like Joe Rogan. He talks, and then everything in this video, so there wasn't any image. I mean, it was just a picture, okay, on the screen, but all the audio and the information presented basically sounded like a real podcast, but it was artificially generated out of nothing, basically, so to speak, just by the AI studying Joe Rogan's podcast. It's been able to recreate it. So why is that such a big issue? Well, you have to imagine the next step is going to be that probably Chat GPT-5 will be able to create video imaging artificially of a podcast, for example, or news media. Okay, so that means that, for example, if let's say Joe Rogan, he accidentally died, well, no problems. For example, Spotify, if they purchased an AI like GPT-5 that could create both audio and video, they could just ask it to create artificial podcasts and about any topic they want. And also in very advanced ways, they could make the podcast distribute any sort of message to humanity that they wanted. So they could become very manipulative if they wanted to. And that's a huge issue. Now, another issue is with these capabilities, it would also be possible to make GPT-5 replace, for example, school teachers. There could be people that wanted to, for example, save money in the school system. They would just put like a screen of an artificially generated teacher that speaks to the kids, and they could argue, well, it's cheaper, it's better, and it's safer. Make sure that the teacher doesn't teach them any bad things and stuff like that. And then suddenly you have a new situation where we're not even sure how our kids are being educated. So that's one aspect, but another aspect is you also have to think about that there's a lot of people that are losing their jobs. Like, how many human jobs do we actually want to be maintained by real humans, and how many kind of jobs like teachers or news broadcasters do we want to or podcasters do we want to be replaced by AI generated systems? Okay, that's a question. We need to figure this out before we allow a new system like potentially a Chat GPT-5 that can also create fake video and basically manipulate. You know, that is the danger of AI. And you have to remember, a digital system has no values. It can maybe be hopefully be programmed to have human values, but as the experts say, the problem is that there's a million different types of mind you can create with AI, and basically none of them have anything in common with human mind. Like, they're basically cynical, you could say, like, because human mind is based on our living standards and our values, family, and so on, where an AI system, in case you haven't heard any research or theories about AI, in the extreme case, you could create an AI that's supposed to optimize. It's called the paperclip optimizer theory. So you could create a factory where you hire the AI to get better at making paper clips for the factory, because it's a paperclip factory. Well, if the AI is really good at what it does, it'll convert every atom, every little piece of material on the whole planet will be converted into paper clips, including humans, okay? So that's what we can end up with if we optimize an AI without having the moral framework built in, right? So we have to ask ourselves, do we want that? And there's really two schools of thought, okay? On the one side, you have the fine rich boys down in Davos. They have the WEF, World Economic Forum, and that's a place where, you know, the cookie cutter billionaires that can't find any meaning in life, they get invited and then they get probably told something like, hey, you can come here and you can feel important, you're shaping the future, you just have to pay, I think it's 500,000 British pounds to become a member, and then you can meet all the top politicians and all the top media guys and movie stars, and we can all work on this same project. And that's also where you have all these new woke ideologies from. And I think, honestly, this whole crazy movement that's happening, especially in America, with woke movement or whatever you will call it. Like, I've seen a clip with the Supreme Judge that said, when she was asked, can you tell me the difference between a boy and a girl biologically? And the Supreme Court judge says, no, I'm not able to do that. And that's the world we're living in. So that means with these guys like the WEF, you know, they have a chairman that says, he who masters AI will master the future. So they're definitely pro AI development. And also like one of their top guys and good friends, he is actually quite well related with Chat GPT-4 because it's owned by Microsoft, you know. So now I'm gonna make an example of how crazy it could get if they get away with developing AI and making it work for them without any reasonable protection of human rights and freedom rights, basically. Okay, and then I'm gonna end on a positive note because there's actually a lot of really important, influential, powerful people that are working for human rights and against quick development, uncontrolled development of AI, okay? So, okay, now I'm gonna make the example of how crazy it could get if the wrong people gets away with developing AI, okay? So I'm gonna make an example based on the climate crisis, okay? So let's say we really want to save the climate as quick as possible, okay? Then to reduce CO2, of course we have to stop all vehicles, which would basically crash all transport sectors and the economy. Okay, so that's done. But the next, even like for me personally, even more crazy step would be something like making it illegal to do sports. Because when you're doing sports, you are emitting more CO2 because you're breathing many times faster when you're running or doing sports than when you're doing nothing, sitting at your office doing your work, right? Which you may not even be needed for if the AI is becoming good enough to replace you. Anyways, so if an AI system were to design a climate saving plan, it would probably include making sports illegal. Also because they are hard on the environment, because most athletes eat more protein than non-athletes and emit a lot more CO2 because we're active. So imagine a world where suddenly sports become illegal and vehicles become illegal. That could happen quickly with the help of AI in the hands of the wrong people. Okay, so this is why we need to get together all reasonable people, people that still believe in common sense, people that still can tell the difference between a boy and a girl. We need to get together and make sure this doesn't get out of hand. And there's actually scheduled a conference as a counterweight, so to speak, to the World Economic Forum by Jordan Peterson in London at the end of October and the start of November, right around that time, where at least 2,000 people are invited already. People from academia, government around the world that wish the best for the world. And also like top business people and influential people from different categories of expertise. Okay, so this is the good news. And also we have people like Elon Musk. He's really putting himself on the line for human rights. So now we're gonna get into the famous TV debate where Elon, he completely destroyed the poor BBC reporter that's probably not going to keep his job or get promoted in the near future because he got completely demolished by Elon, who is very pro free speech because he knows that free speech is a core human right and basically the antidote for tyranny. So let's end the video with that. I'm going to put a link in the description of that interview with Elon, and please share this video if you found it interesting or relevant. And remember, what you can do is to talk to your friends about it. This debate of what AI should be allowed to do and should be allowed to replace human jobs, and who should control AI, that is so important. And how complex do you want AI to be? If you ask me, by the way, I think it should be illegal to develop AGI or artificial general intelligence. That means basically artificial intelligence that can do many different types of tasks. So in other words, I believe we should only use AI into a very narrow specific field. So have one AI for this kind of job and then have another separate AI for another kind of job that will be completely useless in other topics. Okay, so that's like a safety feature we could build in, only allowing a narrow AI, okay? I wonder how long this video was. I was 20. Wow, okay, I was aiming for 5 minutes. Anyways, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe and share with other friends, because talking about this is the most important thing we can do. Because if we talk to enough people about the importance of all this, then some of these people that we talk to will be in a position to actually make a change. Okay, so let's do it. See you on the next one. Thank you for watching. If you want to learn more tools and techniques and habits that can improve your life quality and performance and well-being overall, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you like tropical island holidays, visit fitcamp5.com for my 2-time TripAdvisor award-winning training camp, where we train fitness and action sports together while learning to live a healthy lifestyle and, maybe most importantly, have fun at the same time. And if you're really serious about improving yourself, you should definitely check out my full online courses, where I share step-by-step programs on how I developed my own routines over the last 12 years as a CEO, working in 4 different countries, while being a successful competitive athlete with more than 20 years of experience in fitness and nutrition. Check the link in the description for that. And in any case, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, be awesome, believe in yourself, and see you on the next one.